Welcome back, dearest viewers. Today we are joined with our special guest, Theodora Etim, the founder of Health Formulation Air Care Nigeria, to shed light on this issue ravaging our society. And the topic says alopecia, causes and the struggle for societal acceptance. Now let's look at alopecia quickly. While alopecia is not a life-threatening and can be profoundly life-altering, and for those who live with it, the struggle is often more emotional than physical. It is not about being sick. It's about dealing with profound changes to your appearance, often without warning. The emotional and psychological toll is massive, yet often dismissed. We need to talk about the reality that society reacts very differently to hair loss in a man versus a woman, often burdening women and young girls with tremendous social pressure to conceal the condition. It touches on self-esteem, confidence, and how you deal with the world's curiosity. And we want to understand the daily reality of this condition from the moment of diagnosis to the journey of self-acceptance. And let's start with a big question and directly to my guest. Good morning, Etim. Good morning. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so today's topic, we're talking about alopecia, the causes and the struggle for societal acceptance. And I'm going to be starting with the big question, right? How can we as a community, dismantle the stigma that surrounds hair loss and, treat it with seriousness that it deserves?
Okay, I think we have to start by understanding what the word alopecia means. And alopecia has to do with hair loss. So it could either be hair loss from the hair strand thinning out or the follicles falling off the hair. And it can look like bad patches all over the hair or receding hairline. So we have to start by understanding the meaning of the word alopecia, one, then the causes of alopecia. There's this general belief people feel when people see people with alopecia, they have this impression that, oh, maybe it is due to bad hair practice. You understand, get? So, but alopecia is more than that. Alopecia can either be genetic, alopecia can either be due like from a medical condition, like there's this autoimmune disorder, let me use that term. It's called alopecia areata. A lot of persons are not aware that there's a particular hair loss, alopecia, that could because that is as a result of um, a um, a disorder in the immune system. You understand why? Sometimes it could be medications, and there are women that just have babies that suffered postpartum shedding that could lead to alopecia. So the society will have to understand the causes first. And I think knowing the cause of a thing is what leads to having a solution regarding that particular thing. So knowing the cause is number one. Then another thing that I think we should do, you and I, society at large, is um, empathy. I notice that people see people with hair loss, some kind of hair loss, and there's this way they feel towards them. And I am a hairstylist. I have a natural hair salon. So these are cases I see all the time. And you see a client telling you, oh, I went to a particular salon and the owner of the salon acted a certain way. Maybe when the person saw the essence of the hair shedding, the hair loss. And it has to start from you and I. having empathy for people. For alopecia areata, it can be managed. There's no solution to that. It's like the immune system attacking healthy hair follicles, and it leads to the hair falling off and bad patches and all that. So I think that's like one of the way forward.
Okay, thank you so much. So, due to my research, I found out that there are different types of alopecia, right? You've made mention of alopecia areata. We have androgenetic alopecia, traction
Yes,
alopecia. We have
yes,
scarring alopecia. Now let's look at traction alopecia because this is mostly common among women in Nigeria. That's as a
yes,
result of tight braids, wigs, weaves. You get chemical relaxers. We have dyes, like people
yes,
dyeing their hair, right? So this is
yes.
as a result. This can lead to traction alopecia. Can,
Alopecia, yes.
yeah, so can you really tell us exactly what goes on during those processes? Like, most people want to have beautiful braids on, right? Most people want to have beautiful
Yes.
their wigs on. So how does this take place, and what is the result of it? Because most people, to be honest, there are some certain people that they can't do without wearing wigs. They can't do without braiding their hair. So what can you say about that?
Okay, I think it starts from you understanding your hair. Okay, in situations like this, I always want to use my hair as a case study. We are not on video, so you cannot really see my hair. I have a head full of hair. Yeah, so but I what I try to explain to people, especially our clients that reach out to us or the one that walk into the salon, is understanding your hair. Traction alopecia is something that happens over time. It is not something, it's not you braiding your hair right now and you just losing your hair when you come out of that braid. I have noticed that most of clients that suffer from traction alopecia are older people, people in their 40s, 50s, because they've manipulated their hair, they've done manipulative style over time, and the after effect is what leads to the traction alopecia. So I was explaining something earlier that we have to start by understanding our hair. Thank God for natural hair now. Thank God for natural hair salons. We are doing all we can to sensitize people about their hair. It is knowing your hair and knowing what works for you. So for natural hair, we have something we call hair texture. Hair texture has to do with the strength of your hair. We have people with coarse hair texture. Those are the people that will tell you, oh, my hair is strong. We have people with medium hair texture. Their hair is just there, beautiful hair. We have people with fine hair texture. That's my texture. My strands are really thin. The last time I braided my hair should be like 6 years back
Wow.
because yes, I understand that my texture is fine, it is thin, and any pressure on my hair breaks my hair, like my hair falls out. So people should learn to understand their hair, their texture. Then you should know that. Then we have people that have density, they have volume. We have people with medium density. We have people with very low density. I fall in the category of medium density. So I'm very careful with the hairstyles I make. Then also, apart from the braids, there's this cornrows, the normal all back, what we call cornrows, like just to the back. People wear wig on. I have had clients that had traction alopecia because they consistently made cornrows to the back, and there's this traction over time on their hairline that led to traction alopecia. And it's not just about braids. There are people that braid their hair, yeah, because their texture is coarse, they have density. they do not suffer from this kind of hair fall. They don't suffer from alopecia because their hair is strengthened. So I think people should understand their hair and know the styles that work for them and do the styles that will not cause them to have traction that will lead to alopecia over time.
All right. Thank
Yes.
you for that. But you mentioned how that we should actually take care of your hair. I'm quite interested in this traction alopecia. And one thing that I really want to talk about, for somebody like me, my hairline is starting, somewhere behind, not where every other person's. So my forehead is like more pronounced because my hair is not starting, something like that. So, however, would I say maybe because it's because should I say I have alopecia? Not exactly having alopecia, but because when we're talking about the traction alopecia now, we're talking about the one that has developed over time because of braids. Presently, I braided my hair presently. And is it because of that? Would that be the reason why? Maybe it's like that. Or maybe it is just me because it has always been like that. And then I don't really know. Should I say I have traction alopecia? So I can't even know what to start saying once I leave this place.
Okay, there are persons with very soft hairline, and what I mean is their hairline is not as voluminous as the other parts of their hair. And most times when they do styles like this, it looks like there is no hair on their hairline, or maybe like the hair is receding to the back. I don't think that's traction alopecia. Why? There are some persons that are born naturally without full or no hairline. For traction alopecia, let me tell you, it looks like patches. It's almost like the hairline is looking, it feels and looks like the forehead. Like there's no hair there at all. That is traction. But in a situation whereby you still have small, small hair that you can pick here and there to make your style, I don't think that's a full traction alopecia. It is when you are sure that there's no hair on your hairline anymore. Not just the hairline. We could have traction in between the scalp. Yeah, and we have had cases of people that had a bad experience with relaxer and hair dye. Yes, and it caused those bad patches inside. You understand? So I don't, unless maybe I see a picture of your hairline, I may not
Okay.
categorically be able to tell if it's traction.
Okay, from what you just said now, I would say that I don't actually have traction alopecia because my hair is actually like healthy. It's even like quite long, not really long, but is
Okay.
healthy. So thank you for
Okay.
clarifying that. So we'll go on a short break
Yeah.
right now. When we return, I'm going to also ask about something. We'll be right back. Please stay with us.
Okay.
All right, welcome back. That was a quick break we took. And yes, the focus this morning is alopecia. We have different types, and we've basically narrowed down to, traction alopecia as a result of tight hair braids, hair relaxers and hair dye. And even genetics could also be a reason of the alopecia, whichever type you're experiencing. And yes, we still have our guest with us at Team Theodora, and Triumph wants to continue with her questions. Seems Triumph is very interested.
I am quite interested because what I want to talk about now, or what I really want you to open up for us, is as regards the fact that we hear things, or we hear our mothers, older generation, and even something that is also believed by the younger generation for ladies. As you're giving birth, you get to experience hair loss. I mean, they say it a lot. Once I asked my mom that, why is your hair starting here? You hear things like, after giving birth to 3 children, okay, my kids were the one that took all my hair. And then I am wondering, but I also remember that you mentioned something like, once people are aging, and they get to maybe 40, thereabout, older than that, their hair really like gets softer and maybe
Thinning.
yes, maybe they might really need to take care of their hair differently. So can we call that, is there maybe something like receding alopecia? Or would we call that alopecia? Or do you even believe in that? Does it happen that way?
Yes, it does. Okay, you said something about our mothers. I'm using terms like, oh, I once had a lot of hair, and when I started having my babies, my hair fell off. The truth is, our mothers back then could not manage. That's what they meant by what they were saying is postpartum shedding. There's a shedding that is associated with childbirth after having your baby. And I have discovered that 97 to 98% of a lot of women go through the phase of postpartum shedding. You understand? Postpartum shedding is because, okay, when a woman gets pregnant, there's an increase in estrogen and progesterone level, and then the whole multivitamins and everything aids in hair growth, the body starts glowing, the nails start growing. And by the time you give birth to that child, the estrogen drops, and that's what leads to the shedding after having your baby. But what I always, from my experience, not a one-time experience with childbirth, I've been able to manage postpartum shedding. Yes, I've been able to manage it. I always explain to people that the hairstyle you make pre-pregnancy, the hairstyles you make during pregnancy, and the hairstyle you make post-pregnancy matters a lot. And that's what will determine the extent of shedding you will get. So the answer to your question is not what our mothers they experienced then is not alopecia. It's not traction alopecia. It's not like their hairline was receding. They could not manage postpartum shedding. That's what happened back then. And a lot of women are aware now. I keep talking to most of our clients, explaining to them, especially the ones that I meet them pregnant. I explain to them that this period, this 9 months of being pregnant, you have to be careful of the kind of hairstyles you make. In fact, we pick hairstyles for our pregnant clients. We pick hairstyles all through 9 months. We pick hairstyles 9 months after having their baby. So from 9 months upwards, post delivery, then they can start doing any style of their choice. But after having their baby to 9 months, no. There are styles we don't recommend, we do not allow them make just to manage the shedding after delivery. That's the postpartum shedding.
Thank you so much, Mr. Rere, for what you just said. I love the fact that I get to learn that there is something called postpartum shedding, and I am definitely going to recommend you maybe when I'm pregnant so that you can tell me what to do and how to keep my hair, because already I have not even started giving birth to any child. I don't have a child yet, and we have this already. So I can imagine if I'm going to give birth to maybe around 3, 4 children.
All right, so
Yeah, I know,
let me
right?
ask this question. Regarding those now probably had the experience or diagnosis that they have alopecia, how do you think they can manage this emotional shock? I mean, you were talking about your client. So let's say, for instance, you had a client that you perceive that this person is experiencing alopecia. How do you feel, or how do you advise them to manage this?
Okay, firstly, we have to understand the kind of alopecia this person has. I always want to make reference to alopecia areata because it is, for some persons, the hair just keeps falling off day after day. So, and I think I can remember saying to a client that your hair does not define you, because she had a lot of hair, and she was ill. She was on a particular medication that was pulling off her hair. She's better now, thank God for that.
Thank
So
God.
I try to make her understand that her hair does not define her. And thank God we have a lot of wigs that people can wear, human hair wigs, not necessarily synthetic hair. human hair wigs that looks like more like natural hair. For people that keep natural hair, you just encourage them to get those wigs while we see how to manage it for them. There are clients that we have tried over the years, and we see they are always excited when you see like two strands of hair, like two strands growing. At least that is progress. You understand? So it's just to basically let them know that first and foremost, their hair does not define them. Yeah, and it's always going to get better for the person suffering from the autoimmune disorder. Okay, I've had a case that I just explained to her, Ma, it's not going to get better. If I tell you to get better, I will be lying to you. So you just have to accept how it is right now and let's move past this. Yes. So that's what I basically do.
So, can you like give us a quick one, like a kind of remedy? Is it that in terms of, okay, now let's look at this traction alopecia, right? What can you
Okay.
advise they can do, especially those that already had the loss of hair already? So, what do you
Okay.
feel they can do to, have this renewed hope concerning their
Okay.
hairline?
Okay, for people suffering from traction alopecia, there's a cause and there's a solution. There's a solution for traction alopecia. So we have to know the root cause first. But what I basically advise people suffering from traction alopecia is to first and foremost stop manipulative styling. Manipulative styling. But for people that I do a physical consultation with, and I've seen that their hairline is really tender. And most of those people, I advise them to stop using wig. And some other persons, I advise they discontinue relaxer because there are some persons that relaxer is the major cause of their shedding, their alopecia. So, and basically just embrace a healthy hair practice. That's the solution. I made a statement earlier that I have not braided my hair in
6 years.
almost 6 years. Yes, and my hair is doing fine. My hair is doing very well because I noticed that since my texture is fine hair texture, braid was like a weight on my hair texture. So I had to discontinue braids, and I'm doing well. So for some other persons, we tell them to discontinue and to stop braiding their hair, and then go for hair treatments. There are some hair treatments that can be done in a salon, a natural hair salon, while there are some people we refer them to either a dermatologist or a
To get
trichologist.
steroids.
For further investigation. But basically, for a lot of persons that come into our salon that have suffered traction alopecia, majority of them are doing fine right now. They keep up with their salon appointments, they treat their hair, and then we have products that will help stimulate growth.
Okay,
Yes,
a
they are
quick one,
products.
please. I just want to chip in this. You made mention that
Okay.
you've not plaited your hair for about 6 years. For instance,
Yeah.
somebody that does this white-collar job, right, that needs to always maintain
Well, let's
her
come on.
beauty,
I know
right?
people that
Or just like me. So what kind of hairstyles can
Protective
I do, or
hairstyles.
protective hairstyles, yes, thank you, that I can indulge in probably when I get to my salon, because I can't leave my hair for just like
for
that.
long
So
like
what
that.
advice or what other way can we go about it? Most especially, I also even have your texture of hair, fine hair.
Okay. Okay. Apart from braids, there are other lightweight extensions. These are the extensions I would recommend. Lightweight extensions like kinky extensions. We have spring twist extensions. We have passion twist extensions. These are extensions you can use on your hair that would not put pressure on your follicle at all. Yes. So it's not just about braiding your hair. You have to braid. There are other ways. Then we have natural hairstyles you can do, like natural hair twist, natural hair updo, natural hair braids. You can style your hair. If your hair is long enough, you can just style your natural hair without even going to a salon to do that.
Theodorus, please let us quickly talk about something, and it's about the societal acceptance of people that are actually dealing with the serious part of alopecia. I was watching a video online maybe last week or thereabouts, and then this woman, the middle part of her head is like empty. There was no
Yeah.
hair in it. It was just
Yes.
round.
Yes.
It was just round,
Yes.
maybe about 5 inches to the back, and then the middle part was like empty. And then in that video, the stylist or the hairdresser was trying to make
braid.
Ghana weaving.
Okay.
That Ghana
Yes.
weaving,
Like
the
shuku?
shuku, and then they ended up making the Ghana weaving shuku. She made it in a way, there was a way she was just like making the hair and the whole thing by the time she was done. But by the time I was looking into the comment section, it was not very funny. It was not very funny. I mean, people have weaknesses, but unfortunately, the society, they are not the one that put themselves in that kind of situation, right?
Yes.
But the
Yes.
society is
Yes.
not accepting them. So how do we, talk to the society, or what are the approach to make people know that sometimes it's not like maybe these people decided that they wanted their airline, whether the middle of their head to look like this. So how
Yes.
do we deal with societal acceptance with people that suffer from these things?
Okay, so before I answer that, I think I have been in that situation before. I'm certain I see it differently now because I have a salon and I see cases like this all the time. So the thing is, we have to sensitize the general public. We have to, I don't know if it has to come from the government. People have to understand that some of the persons that suffer hair loss is not just, it's not their making, it's not their doing. They do not choose to be in that situation. There are some that have medical conditions that they cannot explain. And coupled with the fact that most people that suffer hair loss, they do not, I think because of the stigma, they don't want to speak out, they don't want to talk about it. I'm privileged to meet some of them because I own a salon. You understand? So it's a general thing. It's we have had cases where clients they come in. I'll have to be the one to explain to my staffs that okay, this is the reason why this hair is like this, and then she understands. People always have this impression that and there's a particular way this person lives life. And maybe that's the reason why I've heard someone say that actually, and that's why the person's hair is looking the way it is looking. So, and I also think we should create groups. We should create support groups. There should be support groups where they can decide to maybe have a forum where we talk about different hair loss, at least to make the public understand that it is not just about a way of life, a lifestyle. There are some other conditions that could lead to hair loss that is out of the power or the what word do I use now? What
Yeah.
these people suffering this thing, they cannot help it. It is not their fault that they are in this particular situation. So I think that's what should be done. Then I also feel like it should start from the salon because we are like at the forefront. We meet a lot of clients daily that have these issues. So it is left for us to come together and make the public understand that these are the reasons why these people are suffering, why people suffer this kind of hair loss. And it's not something that we have to stigmatize them about because the person has alopecia.
All right, thank you so much, Theodora, for joining us on this beautiful session. I mean, you've educated, you've enlightened us, and of course, anyone listening to us right now and you're suffering from alopecia, you can just, book a consultation or whatever. Look her up on the social media because that's so much we can take at this point. And yes, I think the biggest takeaway here is that courage isn't about having hair; it's about having heart. Living with alopecia isn't a choice, but now you've navigated absolutely is. All right, so thank you so much. Stay tuned till next week on Monday. Do join us. Bye.